Every night for months, an 18-year-old autistic boy named Marcus sat in silence at his desk in a quiet Boston home, drawing the Virgin Mary with colored pencils, image after image, filled with a devotion no one fully understood. Then one dawn, something extraordinary happened that no doctor, no scientist, no skeptic has ever been able to explain. A presence entered his room, a light filled the space, and a miracle of healing began for the person he loved most. This is the tender, profound story of how the Mother of God reached into a silent heart to speak volumes of love and grace. Before we continue, share in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. Let's see how far the miracles of the Virgin Mary have reached. And if you haven't yet joined our family, subscribe now, because here, each day, we witness the tender love and mighty power of the Mother of God. Marcus was 18, living in a modest home in Boston with his parents and his grandmother Margaret. The house was small but warm, filled with the simple joys of family life. A front garden where his mother carefully tended tulips that bloomed vibrantly each spring, a cozy living room where evenings gathered everyone together. In one corner stood a statue of the Virgin Mary, simple yet cherished, her gentle face watching over the space with serene compassion. Marcus's father worked long hours as an electrician, returning tired but always with a smile for his son. His mother managed the home and cared for Margaret, ensuring every detail reflected love. They were not wealthy, but happiness filled their days, the kind rooted in togetherness. Dinners shared at the table with stories and laughter, weekends curled on the couch watching old movies, the quiet rhythm of ordinary life made sacred by affection. In Catholic homes like theirs, especially in Boston's strong Irish-Italian communities where faith runs deep, statues of Mary serve as focal points of devotion, reminders of her role as spiritual mother, intercessor for families facing trials. Grandma Margaret was 72, a woman whose faith had sustained her through life's joys and sorrows. Every evening at 7, she knelt before the statue, rosary beads slipping through her fingers as she prayed in silence for half an hour. Marcus, autistic and nonverbal, often lingered nearby, watching television quietly, reading, or simply being in the room. He had learned devotion by watching her, absorbing the ritual's peace without words. Autism shaped his world in unique ways. Communication through gestures, expressions, a rich inner life expressed in patterns and routines. The family understood him perfectly, his needs, joys, discomforts read in a glance or tilt of the head. Their bond was special. Margaret sensed Marcus's moods before others, offering comfort with a touch or favorite snack. Thursday mornings brought their ritual. Her famous pancakes, batter mixed with care, flipped at the perfect moment. Marcus appeared as the scent filled the house, watching intently, rewarded with the first plate drizzled with just the right honey. His mother observed from afar, heart swelling at the connection deeper than words. Marcus showed love in his own way. When Margaret grieved a friend's passing, eyes red from hidden tears, he stayed close that evening, not retreating to his room as usual, but sitting beside her on the couch, taking her hand in silence. They remained thus for over an hour, his quiet presence a balm. "Thank you, my love," she whispered, feeling understood completely. Nights sometimes restless for Marcus, overwhelmed by sounds or changes, he found solace in drawing. Colored pencils became his voice, pages filling with intricate patterns, faces, scenes from memory. One habit emerged quietly. Every night at 7, as Margaret prayed, Marcus drew the Virgin Mary, from the statue's gentle features, blue mantle soft in lamplight. Image after image, some precise, others abstract, all infused with devotion learned through watching. Over 100 drawings accumulated, hidden in a shoebox under his bed, a silent rosary of art to in Catholic tradition. Art has long been prayer, illuminated manuscripts, icons painted with fasting and devotion, children like the Fatima visionaries sketching what they saw. For nonverbal souls, expression through image echoes heaven's language, pure and direct. Marcus never explained. He simply drew, night after night, the lady in blue, taking form under his careful hand. The autumn leaves had only just begun to turn when the shadow fell over the little house in Boston. It started with small things Margaret could no longer hide. The way she paused on the stairs to catch her breath, the sudden pallor beneath her carefully applied rouge. The nights she spent sitting up because lying down made the pain sharper. The diagnosis came like a thief in the night. Aggressive cancer, advanced stage, treatment options limited and brutal. The doctor's words were gentle but merciless. Months, perhaps less if her body could not withstand the chemotherapy. Margaret accepted it with the same quiet strength that had carried her through widowhood and raising a family on a modest income. She asked only one thing, that her rosary hours remain undisturbed. Every evening at 7, she knelt before the statue of the Virgin Mary, voice barely above a whisper, beads slipping through fingers grown thin and translucent. Marcus watched as always, but now his eyes held something new. Fear, raw and wordless, he began drawing more intensely. The shoebox under his bed filled rapidly. Mary with her mantle open wide like an embrace. Mary holding the child close to her heart. Mary crowned with stars. Mary weeping. Some drawings were careful and precise. Others frantic scrawls of blue and white. As if he could pour his terror onto the paper and make it stay there instead of in his chest. His mother found him one night at 3 in the morning, asleep at his desk, cheek against a half-finished portrait, tears having smudged the colored pencil into soft halos around Mary's face. The chemotherapy began. Margaret lost her hair, her appetite, her strength. Some days, she could not rise from bed to pray in the living room. Marcus brought the statue to her bedroom himself, placing it carefully on the nightstand where she could see it. Then he sat on the floor beside her bed and drew, page after page, the stack growing beside him like a silent vigil. One night in late November, when the house was wrapped in frost and Margaret lay barely conscious, Marcus did something different. He took the most recent drawing, Mary with arms outstretched, face radiant with compassion, and slipped it beneath his grandmother's pillow. Then he knelt, forehead against the bed's edge, hands clasped exactly as he had seen her do thousands of times. No words came from his lips, but tears fell freely, soaking the blanket. In the deepest hour of that night, when even the streetlights seemed to dim, Marcus felt the room change. A warmth spread, gentle as breath, carrying the unmistakable scent of roses in winter. Light, soft, golden, alive, filled the space without source. And there, at the foot of the bed, stood the lady from his drawings, exactly as he had rendered her, blue mantle flowing, face luminous with tenderness. She did not speak aloud, yet Marcus heard her clearly in the silence of his heart. She will not leave you. Peace flooded him, deeper than any he had known. The light lingered long enough to dry his tears, then faded as gently as it came, leaving only the faint perfume of roses and the drawing beneath the pillow now faintly warm to the touch. Morning brought the impossible. Margaret opened her eyes clear and focused, asking for tea and toast. The nurse arrived to find her sitting up, color in her cheeks, pain diminished to a whisper. Tests in the following weeks confirmed what no one dared hope. Tumors shrinking, markers plummeting, strength returning against all medical expectation. The doctors spoke of spontaneous remission, rare but documented. Margaret spoke of answered prayer. Marcus said nothing. He had never needed words. He simply stopped drawing. The shoebox stayed closed, its more than 100 images a silent testament to nights of wordless supplication. The first hints of change came so subtly that the family almost missed them amid the relentless routine of hospital visits and quiet vigils. Margaret's nights grew less restless, the pain that had racked her body easing enough for her to sleep through until dawn. Jennifer noticed it one morning when she brought breakfast, Margaret sitting upright in bed, a faint smile playing on her lips as she gazed at the small statue of the Virgin Mary Marcus had placed on the nightstand. "I feel lighter today," she whispered, voice fragile, yet carrying a note of wonder. Doctors, reviewing blood work with cautious optimism, noted anomalies. Inflammation markers dipping unexpectedly. Tumor indicators stabilizing where progression had been certain. "It's early," Dr. Ellison cautioned, "but this response is unusual. In oncology, such pauses occur rarely, bodies sometimes rallying briefly against aggressive cancers. Yet Margaret's improvement gathered quiet momentum. Appetite returned in small measures. A few bites of toast, sips of broth savored rather than forced. Color touched her cheeks, the gray pallor receding like morning fog under sun. Marcus watched it all with wide, watchful eyes, his drawing routine intensifying. The shoebox filled faster now, images of Mary more vivid, mantle flowing in blues and whites that seemed to glow on the page, her face radiating compassion he captured instinctively. Some nights he drew until exhaustion claimed him, cheek resting on the paper, tears smudging colors into soft halos. His parents found him thus more than once, carrying him gently to bed, hearts aching at the silent burden their son carried. In Catholic tradition, Mary's intercession for the sick often manifests through quiet persistence, the rosary's decades building invisible bridges of grace, as it lured where the incurably ill found relief through simple faith. Marcus's drawings became his rosary, wordless decades offered nightly, devotion poured into each stroke. Early winter, Margaret managed short walks around the room, leaning on a cane but upright, breathing easier. Tests confirmed the impossible. Tumors shrinking measurably, metastasis halted. Dr. Ellison, reviewing scans with furrowed brow, admitted privately to Jennifer, "In my career, I've seen remissions, but this pace, this extent, it's beyond what treatment alone explains." The family clung to hope, whispering thanks at Margaret's bedside, the statue's gentle gaze seeming to watch over them all. Marcus ceased drawing one night abruptly, the pencil set aside, shoebox closed. He sat by Margaret's bed instead, holding her hand as she dozed, a peace settling on his features his parents had never seen. The drawings, over 100, remained hidden, his secret vigil complete. Christmas approached, the house adorned with simple lights and a small tree, traditions Margaret insisted on despite weakness. She sat in the living room again, wrapped in blankets, watching Marcus arrange ornaments with careful precision. "My boy," she murmured, eyes misty. "You've been my strength." Marcus smiled, rare, radiant, leaning to kiss her cheek. Doctors spoke of inexplicable remission, charts showing stability where decline had ruled. The family called it miracle, gathering nightly in thanksgiving, the Virgin Mary statue central once more. Marcus kept silent on his vision, the light, the presence, her promise, but peace radiated from him. Devotion fulfilled. Stories of Marian grace. Heaven often chooses the quiet, the wordless, the autistic child's drawings becoming prayer, pure heart opening doors medicine cannot. Marcus knew, in his silent way, that love expressed without voice had been heard profoundly. Spring arrived gently in Boston that year, the snow melting into rivulets that fed the tulips in the front garden, their vibrant colors a quiet promise after winter's long hush. Margaret's recovery had become the family's daily wonder, no longer subtle hints, but undeniable progress that left doctors searching for words. By March, she walked the house unaided, stairs no longer a challenge, appetite returning with joy for simple meals shared at the table. Tests confirmed what eyes already saw. Tumors retreating further, vitality blooming where decline had ruled. Dr. Ellison, reviewing scans with quiet awe, admitted, "This isn't just response, it's beyond protocols. Keep whatever you're doing." The family called it miracle openly now, prayers at dinner giving thanks, Jennifer lighting candles before the Virgin Mary statue with tears of gratitude. Marcus watched it all with serene eyes, his drawing pencil set aside, the shoebox closed. Over 100 images rested there, silent offerings from nights of wordless supplication, each stroke a plea poured out when words failed him. His parents sensed the change in him too, restlessness gone, a peace radiating that needed no explanation. In Catholic homes, especially those touched by illness, Mary's intercession often manifests through quiet channels. The rosary's persistent beads, children's pure offerings echoing the little visionaries of old. Marcus's drawings had been his rosary, devotion expressed in color and form when voice could not. The night of the vision, the light, the presence, her gentle assurance, remained his secret, held close like the drawings themselves. Summer, Margaret returned fully to life, tending her garden, baking Thursday pancakes with Marcus watching as always, the ritual renewed with deeper joy. "My boy saved me," she told Jennifer one afternoon, eyes misty. Jennifer smiled through tears. "Through his prayers." Margaret nodded. "And hers." Marcus thrived in his way. Routines comforting, family bonds stronger. He communicated love through presence, sitting longer with Margaret, helping in small tasks, expressions conveying what words never needed to. The autism that shaped his world also opened it to graces others missed. Pure heart receiving what doubt might block. Point one evening in autumn, the family gathered for Margaret's birthday, 73 now, radiant in health no chart predicted. Cake on the table, presents wrapped simply, laughter filling the cozy living room. Marcus sat close to his grandmother, hand resting near hers. As candles flickered, Margaret looked at him with overflowing love. "You've been my angel, Marcus." He smiled, rare, full, and for the first time, reached for the shoebox hidden nearby, placing it gently on the table. Opening it slowly, he revealed the drawings, 100 and more, each Virgin Mary unique, some precise in blue mantle and tender gaze, others abstract swirls of devotion, the final tear-smudged page from that sacred night. The family gazed in silence, then tears, Jennifer understanding at last the depth of her son's vigil. "You drew her for me?" Margaret whispered. Marcus nodded, eyes shining in that moment. No words needed. The drawings spoke. Love beyond speech, faith beyond explanation, grace answering silent cries. The Virgin Mary, gentle mother to the wordless, had heard. As the seasons cycled once more through Boston's familiar rhythms, the crisp autumn leaves giving way to winter's snow, then melting into spring's tender green, the little house on the quiet street held a peace deeper than any it had known before. Margaret, now 73, moved through her days with the vitality of someone gifted extra years, tending the tulip garden that bloomed more vibrantly each spring, baking Thursday pancakes with Marcus watching as always, her laughter ringing clear where whispers had once prevailed. Doctors monitored with quiet amazement, charts showing sustained remission, no trace of the aggressive cancer that had nearly claimed her. Beyond explanation, they murmured, the word miracle, unspoken yet understood in grateful glances. Marcus, too, had flowered in his silent way. The restlessness that once gripped him on difficult nights had eased, replaced by a serene contentment visible in his eyes. He played a fuller part in family life, helping in the kitchen with careful precision, joining outings to parks where he observed birds and clouds with the same intensity once reserved for drawing. The shoebox remained closed in his closet. Over 100 images of the Virgin Mary, each a chapter of wordless prayer, the final tear-smudged page from that sacred night a hidden treasure. He never drew her again. The need had passed, the promise fulfilled. In Catholic families touched by such graces, healing often ripples outward. Faith renewed not in spectacle, but quiet daily living. Like the hidden years of Nazareth where Mary pondered all in her heart. Jennifer and her husband attended Mass more often, the statue in the living room a focal point of evening thanks. Simple happiness deepened, dinners shared with stories, movie nights cuddled close. The ordinary made sacred by awareness of the extraordinary received. One autumn evening, gathered for Margaret's birthday. Cake glowing with candles, presents wrapped in love. Marcus brought the shoebox downstairs for the first time. Opening it slowly, he revealed the drawings to his family. Page after page of Mary in blue and white, faces radiant, mantles flowing, some precise, others abstract bursts of devotion. Jennifer's breath caught. Tears welled as understanding dawned. "You drew her every night?" Marcus nodded, eyes shining. Margaret took the final drawing, the smudged one from the vision night, holding it gently. "This was under my pillow," she whispered. When everything changed, no words needed, love spoke volumes. The family embraced, tears mingling joy and awe. The Virgin Mary, gentle mother to the wordless, had heard a boy's silent cries, answering through light and promise in a humble bedroom. Marcus kept his deepest secret, the presence, the warmth, her assurance, held close like the drawings. Yet peace radiated, devotion fulfilled and healing granted. In traditions worldwide, heaven favors the pure of heart. Autistic souls, nonverbal yet eloquent in love, becoming vessels for grace as at Fatima, where children conveyed messages beyond their years. The house endured as haven. Tulips blooming faithfully, rosary prayers nightly, family bonds unbreakable. Marcus thrived. Studies, routines comforting, love expressed in presence. Margaret aged gracefully, faith's light undimmed. Parents cherished each day, ordinary moments luminous with gratitude, in a world quick to demand proof. Miracles whisper through quiet devotion. A boy's colored pencils becoming prayer, pure heart opening heaven's door when words fail. The Virgin Mary, refuge of the silent, hears every cry, answering in ways only love fully understands. Before we finish, I invite you to join our prayer community dedicated to the Virgin Mary, a worldwide family sharing testimonies of her maternal care. If this story has touched your heart, click below to subscribe and become part of our chain of prayer. And if you followed Marcus's journey to the end, please write in the comments, drawings. Let us witness together how many souls have been reached by this testament to Mary's enduring miracles. Share this video with someone needing hope today. May Our Lady bless and protect you and your family always. Amen.